cruelties. These cruelties were schon alltäglich. Wir waren nicht berührt. It doesn't touch us, all this. We were dead people. And we only thought we were upset that the world doesn't know what it happens in the Auschwitz. And we thought if somebody would happen and we will come out with news, with all about these names, that he will come in they will bring him in a neutral country, and the journalist, and there will be a press conference, and the whole world will be moved and priced against the Germans, and nothing happened.
You answered the question a little bit when you just got through saying, that you lived with death every day.
Yes.
And that you yourself felt you were dead and all that. Because I was going to ask you, didn't it bother you that you had so much to eat and people were starving to death in front of you?
Look, it was only so. You knew you can help somebody who has the chance to survive. And this we were helping. We couldn't help to other people, to more people. It was disenchanted. It was Muslim. It was finished. And if you had a circle, you had some maybe 20 people you could support. It was your strength. Not every day, but you watched in this camp, this and this, how is this commando. You had some relations to these people, friendly relations, or as a landsman relations, you see. And some people were to you you couldn't embrace all. It must be a selection, make a selection. And only who has a chance and who would, for instance, my brother-in-law, it was not possible, who resignated. There was my cousin, 2 cousins came there.
Where at Auschwitz?
No, in
Neuengamme. Yeah.
But to Auschwitz came my 2 cousins, young people. And they became dysentery, you know what it
Yes,
is.
dysentery. Yeah.
Such a dysentery, but it was not possible to save them. Not possible. You couldn't do it. It was some, for instance, crows who catch typhus, black fever. And I was immune already, what I had felt fever in Hamburg Neuengamme. And he was lying on this block 7, which was sentenced to go to the gas chamber, or the whole block. It was the deadline and so. And I learned it 3 days before or 2 days before. So I was going with my tools to this block 7. There was a guard that nobody could go in, but I told I have something to repair and so, and he let me in. And I was coming to the place where Kraus was lying, nearly half dead. He was lying with a corpse. And the nurse of this block 7, he was our friend. So we took Kraus house from this booth.
Yes.
I gave him this stripped uniform, and I gave him my tool, this box, and I took him under the arm away, and this ward told, now you are 2 Schlossers, and you are, he was here 1 hour before, and so, look, we are ready, and so who can work in such a drag, look, that I will never come here, and so, and this nurse was going with us, and so I took him out before this critical moment, and then we saved him, we gave him in a block for who was a friend of us, and then when this came, this critical moment, so nobody could be in the camp. Nobody who has an attachment to work in the camp could be there. Otherwise, he was put on the car and was put in the gas chambers. So at that time, we took Kraus In Außenkommando, we took him from both sides, and he was lying in a place, and only to over an überleben, this critical moment. And after this critical moment, when this block was emptied, then were three weeks was period which you was sure that nothing happened.
Yeah. All the people, you know now that they're gassing people. Now you know that they...
So will you start at once or will you see this a little?
Well, no, we will, but I want to get that on tape as you're talking. See, then I can refer back to it. It's October the 29th, 1978. Time is... Yes, I will. The time is 2:22 p.m. with the residence of Morton M. Silverman, 966 Cassiano Road, Los Angeles, and Mr. Erich Kulka is continuing his interview and his experiences. Now, do you want to first talk about the maps, and then we'll go back to playing back a part of the tape?
That you can orient yourself a little what it is mean the Postenkette and this, all these things. Maybe this video. This is
the description of the camp, right? So, do you want me to put Scotch tape on that? Do you want me to fix that right now?
Yes.
All right, let me fix it now for you.
Yes.
Mr. Kulka is describing the log plan of the
Kriegsgefangenenlager Auschwitz. It means the plan of the prisoners of war in Auschwitz. But in real it was the annihilation, das Vernichtungslager. It was only this way transcripted from the SS. This is the original plan from the which was stolen from this Bauleitung. This is the section first. This is the Frauenlager, the women's camp. Yes.
Which is north, south, east, and west?
It is marked, I think so.
All right, I'll tell you what then. What we do is this. Where's the entranceway to the camp?
The entranceway to the camp is here.
Oh.
Here is the entrance. Then later was built this. Here was the ramp, the whole selection place, and later were built in this rail side. You see here, the main road and the rail side. Here is the main entrance, which divided.
Now, when we were talking before, remember there was two openings. One was just to drive through with trucks and walk, whatever it is, but they hadn't put in the railroad tracks yet.
Yeah.
Now they've put in the railroad tracks.
But it was very, in this too. They put, first it was only the road, and they go by the cars. And later they put in 44, it was broad enough, so then they took these from Auschwitz, these railroads, till the crematoria, till this place.
I see, these are the crematoria.
These were three pairs of rails, and this was like a railway station, like a small railway station. And this was the place where the whole selection ramp, where the whole selection took place, between the Bauabschnitt 1, the section 1, and the section 2. And this was the section 7. Here was also a road between section 2 and section 7. You see here was a road, but not a rail, and this road also to crematoria 4 and 5, and here were the crematorium 2 and 3, yes? According to count, the one crematorium first was the small one in Auschwitz 1, which was this side about 3 kilometers far from Birkenau. So in here was SS Barak Kaserne, SS. Here were the SS, they had their quarters and also the hospital. Yes. And this was Canada. This one. This was the barracks where they sorted all these.
Now let's let me now get this straight. This area, you said, was a women's barracks.
Women's barracks.
That was
later. In the time when I came, this one existed only this one.
Only the front part.
And later here were women, men, and later it developed. And the crematoria were built here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this it was begun in autumn 42. They began to build this crematorium. Yes. Yes, and here is the you see Canada.
When did they have the camps? They had the camps before they had the crematory, right?
Yes, before. This first section.
Before they had the crematory.
Yes, and simultaneously with this crematoria was built this section 2, and later, when the crematorium only operated, was built the section 3.
Before they built the crematory, and people died or were killed or whatever, they buried them there.
They buried them. They buried them. This I will show you another map here another map.
So the crematories were actually built, in your opinion, about when?
They were begun in September 1942, and they began to operate the first in March 1943.
That's these two here.
Then 1 month later, and this in May, and so.
I see.
Yes. Right. And this is the Canada camp, the special Canada. Yes, there were the 92 or 30 barracks, which nobody lived here, or they only stored. And during the day, they manipulated all the stuff. Sorted everything. And here was the so-called sauna. This was the bath for people who were selected for work. The people who were selected for work, they were bathed here. Yes, in this, and the women were bathed here in this, which were selected for work. Yes, on this place. And before every camp,
now someone is going to ask an obvious question: why were the women and the men kept separate?
There in the camps?
Yes.
They should not. They were very, very strictly. Only when there was a family camp. There were 2 family camps,
which we're going to come to.
Yes.
Was there any particular reason they wanted to keep them apart?
Yeah, it was very forbidden to have contacts with women.
Is that because they were easier to handle that way?
No. They had their own government. The women. Their own assessment, their own capos, and so.
But instead of just letting the men and the women just live,
no, they don't.
They felt it wouldn't have been productive. Is that it?
No, and there was although the sexual intercourse was very, very very not allowed, and only capos and so.
Now, let me ask you: each one of these little rectangles is what?
Is a block.
Is a block.
Is a block.
Is a block. Now, how many people are in one of these?
In one block were about from 6 to 1,000 people. You may average 800.
I mean, in each one of these, like we have 5 blocks there?
Yes.
Is 30,000?
3,000. 3,000. It's 600, I will claim.
Oh, 600.
6 till 1,000 when it was overcrowded, so it was already.
So in each one of these, like here's 5.
Yes.
There would have been like 3,000, huh?
Yes, sure.
And 3,000 and 3,000 and 3,000.
Yes.
And would the same ratio been here?
In such a camp, it was approximately at least 10,000. In one camp, 10, 12, till 15,000. In this one camp, which 2 rows, you see. There were 32 barracks. Yes? 32 barracks were there in the camp. And 2 were wash barracks. And
I see what you mean. Now when you talk about a camp, this is a fence that comes here.
This is a fence between the
separating this.
Look, this is the only row, and this is the so-called quarantine camp. This was only half. Yes, quarantine.
I get it now.
Yes, and now this was the Czech family camp. This was the Hungarian camp. This was the camp Stammlager where we were. And here you can see, here was our this shop, this maintenance, this shop, you see.
From where the green spot is, yeah.
Yeah, we could observe all. We could go here to observe.
So looking at this
and
map...
And now these are kitchens. These are kitchens, yes? Kitchens in the camp. And here you have the SS wards. So you see the SS were not in the camp. They were also...
on the other side of the wire fence.
Yes, they were also, here was the store, the gate, and before the gate was a small ward barrack. And
so here now, right here, they have only one wire around this whole area here.
Yes.
And one around this.
Yes.
But when they take the men's camps, then every 2 rows they put a
wire. This all you see is barbed wire. All this.
And they separate
and
each
here
one.
Yes. And here was a road. But in the camp, between these 2 rows of barracks was the main camp road, and the place between the barracks was the Appelplatz, so-called as roll call Platz. Yes. But this barrack was 9 meter width and 40 meter long. Yes, one. You have the plans are exactly.
Now, when you talk about camp, see, to us, a camp would be the whole area. But when you talk about a camp, you're talking about a section, right?
I tell so. Section, this, camp, this. In one section were 7 camps. Look, in this section were 2 camps. In this section were 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 camps. When this section.
Well, see, we would say it the other way. There were 7 sections in that camp.
In the in the 7 camps in that section.
Yeah, I'm just telling you how an American would say it.
Oh.
You see, that's why I wasn't following you.
Look, section is this.
Yeah.
And the camp is this place.
Now, you see, to us, that would have been the camp, and the section is a part of it.
Yes.
See, a section is a part.
Bauabschnitt, Deutsch, yeah? Bauabschnitt, section.
Yeah, all right. Yes. Now, so then we have the road that comes here with the...
And the road, so they could go either here to the crematorium, or they could also here go,
Where did the train stop?
The train stopped here, on this place.
And then what did they do? They backed up?
The train picked up when they
didn't go out and
No, it was finished. It was
a dead end there.
Dead end.
And then they backed up.
They picked up, yes. They were going to, I can show it to you.
And they came to Auschwitz.
To Auschwitz was here, to the station Auschwitz. This I can show you on the map. The whole situation.
And here again
are kitchens.
These are the kitchens.
Kitchens.
And
this is the wards of the assessment. They were this, as I told you, where we saw these table plates with these inscriptions.
Right.
When I take
and these larger areas are what?
This is larger. This is the area.
Right here, these larger.
This is the third section in the same kitchen.
So what are these?
This was for larger wards, not only wards for also Gestapo has eine kleine Kanzlei hat Gestapo works together, yes. It was for wards and for this political department, yes.
And how many people would be in here in this little, what do you call it?
This
ward here.
There were four assessment, 2 and 2 were the assessment.
And what did they have in there? Were there beds in there or nothing? Just chairs,
yes,
table?
They had chairs, table, radio, and this was divided in 2, and then they had bed in this to rest.
People actually slept there.
Yes, they rest. They changed. Yes, they changed it.
Now here you have an opening. Was that gate closed?
No, this was the door. This was
the door. Yeah.
The gate. Yes, the gate.
Now, what would keep the people from walking out of there?
You cannot. This was a gate, and the people couldn't go.
Oh, it's a locked gate.
The gate was locked, And during the day the gate was open, but the assessment were still standing here and watching. An assessment was standing also with the row, with this rifle, and the other assessment were sitting here in the inside. So if you would kill this assessment, maybe. So there were one watching inside and two in the reserve. Yes.
What are the circles?
This was Kläranlage. You know, there's Kläranlage. It was a station which make the excrements filtered and so on. Yes. Which they filter the excrements for fertilizing.
Oh. What were they? Wells or something? That
was very great from concrete, such a huge concrete with water, and they were mixed and operated, and then...
This is human excrement they would put in it?
Yes, really.
And then what would they do with it?
There was many, they fertilized it with it. There was, for instance, concentration camp Budi. It was a Landwirtschaft, agriculture. There were 3-4 agricultures. They planted. They were a camp for planting some plants for caoutchouc and so on. And so
now, why are some larger circles? Why are some smaller?
This I cannot tell you exactly.
All right. Now, another thing is this. If the trains came in here, then they had to take all the clothing from here over to here.
Not the trains. Look, the Canada came here with trucks. I will show it on photographs. And they brought this, and they brought it two ways. One way they brought it here, zwischen die zwei Wagen.
I see.
This here and here.
Right.
Or here or here. Mainly here and here.
Yeah, I got to remember that there's barbed wire there, electrified fence.
Yes.
These are always electrified, right?
Always, but not during the day. Electrified, but during the day it was not loaded with that was not loaded during the day. As there were very few people in the camp during the day.
Now, what are these long ones here, next to these excrement vats or whatever they're called?
This was heaps for wood. You know, they were very much wood. They wanted for crematoria.
So they were using wood to burn?
To anheizen.
To begin it?
To begin it, yes. And then also for the pits, when they had the pits, and they were also rails on this stapled.
Oh, yes.
So it was such a store.
We call them ties, railroad ties, that they use for the tracks.
Yes.
And then, what is this?
This was the auxiliary barrack for storing materials for the next, further. When they built this some material was stored here, and we, as I told you, we organized there some roasts and so. And I will show you another map.
Now this whole area, Mr. Kulka,
this whole area was Birkenau.
It could hold about 130,000, 160,000 at the time?
Yes, the most stuff here was 140,000 people were the top where there were. It was in summer 44.
And these right here, what did you say?
This is a block for Krankenbau, a hospital camp, and there were some barracks. This was the Zigeuner gypsy camp. This is a gypsy, and anschließend adjoined. This was the hospital barrack. And they were also some barracks where the SS doctors made their experiments.
Right here. What is this? The same?
This was not built up. This is only in a plant.
But this was built?
Only a part. I will show you. I have not here that factory.
All right. So then we have here women, right?
Yes. And here were quarantine camp for men. For women, the quarantine, for quarantine camp for women was here barrack, here.
What?
Quarantine barrack. If some women were released, or if some women were put in another camp, transferred, so they have to go to a quarantine barrack, outside the camp for 14 days and so on. And here, when this was only for men, the quarantine camp, yes, when they came in and so.
Now this one is what? This one.
This is.
What's the name of this? The first one.
This barrack.
Yes.
This was the mass closet. You know, closet. What it is? Toilet. This was a barrack for toilets.
No, I mean this whole. What is this camp called?
This camp was a Familienlager. This whole camp. Check for the
This is a holding area. This is for a family. This is what?
This was the Hungarian camp for women. Hungarian camp for women.
For women?
Yes. Yes.
But these were also...
These were women from all other nations. This came in operation only in summer 44.
Yeah. And this was right here?
Yes.
This whole area was for Hungarian
there were
women?
about 50,000 Hungarian women.
Women in this area?
This was the staff, Stammlager, where the old prisoners were. And the main, the prisoners which worked in the camp area. From this camp they didn't give some people to another camps or to the IG Farben and so. It was the Stammlager, so called.
In this area?
This area is a Zigeunerlager, family camp. Gypsies, yes.
I see. And this is these four here where they had the experiment.
Experiment, or the people, the hospital. It was centralized hospital. But in the beginning, the hospital was in a very
Now, right here, they never brought in the prisoners here. I mean,
yes, they brought.
But there was no tracks here.
No, tracks. They were. The roads are not around here, but they could go. I will show you another.
But here there was railroad.
Later was railroad here.
Tracks.
44.
But here there wasn't.
No, only road. No railroad. And here was the SS barracks and SS hospital.
And here, show me where Arbeit macht frei on this area.
This was not, in this camp was not.
No, they didn't bother. only in Auschwitz.
Here was this huge Birkenau, you know, with these two entrances and this.
Right.
But no inscriptions.
No inscriptions. What is this? This sort of building that is set to one side on an angle.
This was such a entertainment for SS, cantina and so on. You see, when the SS entertainment for SS, such an
that's outside of the barbed wire area.
Yes.
And what are these that are outside of even the quarters there? What are these?
These were the housing of SS, which houses the families from Birkenau, from
the families.
Families.
You mean they brought their wives and children?
Yes, sure.
And they could see what was going on?
No, they couldn't go in the camp.
But they
never could.
But they knew.
No, they sure. But they didn't see it. Yes. So you have now any idea about this, yes? So
yes.
I think this was necessary to let you know, but otherwise it's when I am this and this.
Now, when they brought them, for example, let us say they're bringing in Poles. Where did they bring them?
Poles?
Yeah.
So it was the Poles first. When they were not gassed, nicht vergassed. So they brought him here, here, this way, and here. They bath, to the bath. Here they were Aufnahmeschreiber, aufgenommen.
Yeah.
And here was decided to which block they will go. They had already prepared the number, and they were told, and then they came to this block. But there were very few Poles who came in Auschwitz, in Birkenau, you know. Exceptionally. The Poles came always in Auschwitz.
What about the Jews?
Jews, they came here in this camp, they were divided.
Yeah, but you say these are Hungarians.
Then Hungarian
Hungarian women.
It was according to some section, you know, one time there was Greek Jews were coming.
Oh, I see.
One was French Jews. But the Hungarian action was so
intense
that they wanted to open a new camp.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see. So from time to time, it was either Greeks.
Yes.
But this was always Tzigana. This was always
Gypsies. Till the moment when they were liquidated in August 1944. Then later it came here Hungarian transports here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then as we
and
talk,
for instance, when this familiar camp ceased to exist, so they came from other nations.
That's what I'm asking.
But familiar, it was special for a very long time, so it became the name. Yes.
All right. So then we're going to talk about that. I understand that now.
So I think this was, and here. You have a map. What is this?
Yes, I have it pretty much in mind. Yeah.
This you have. These are the camps, and then there is a detail of this crematoria. This we have time to this. What is this? This is also not so important now.
What are these?
This is the camp. Like as you see this first section, you understand? Here is already inside Auschwitz-Birkenau. Here is inside this railway. Yes. Yes. But this is not right. The plan, the railway was going only here. Not a good one. Yes, you see, Bauabschnitt 1, Bauabschnitt 2, Bauabschnitt 3. This is a section. And this was built only the part of it. Only this part was built. So.
Then this is pretty much like the one that you showed me.
Yes.
Except that this isn't all filled in.
Not filled in, yes.
That's and number one, and the track stopped here.
The track stopped here, only here. Here you have the Kläranlagen, and here are the places where the ashes Here, before the crematoria were put in so they have here a barrack and they gazed here, the people. Before the crematoria was...
K4.
Yes, in the
so
K4. Yes. A K5 is this. Yes, it was the bunker K5. So I will let you give you then, when we came to this crematoria, so I will give you a special map which is much better. There are also the places where the ashes were.
See, I should make a photocopy of this one.
Yes, you can.
And I should make a photocopy of the other one.
The other one is not too good. I will give you a better one.
Oh, all right.
Yes. It's not precise. It's not good. So, no, this I think was necessary to let you know for the moment being. And now we can proceed a little. On this selection of the dust. All about these names that either come in the...
We're going back to the end of tape 3 so I can get his continuity of thought.
Journalists, and there will be a press conference, and the whole world will be moved and priced against the Germans and nothing else.
You answered the question a little bit when you just got through saying, that you lived with death every day.
Yes.
And that you yourself felt you were dead and all that. Because I was going to ask you, didn't it bother you that you had so much to eat and people were starving to death in front of you?
Look, it was only so. You knew you can help somebody who has the chance to survive. And this we were helping. We couldn't help to other people, to more people. It was Juden, it was Muslim, it was finished. And if you had a circle, you had some maybe 20 people,
every day. But you watched in this camp, this and this, how is this commando. You had some relations to these people, friendly relations, or as a landsman relations, you see. And some people were to you you couldn't embrace all. It must be a selection, make a selection. And only who has a chance, and who would, for instance, my brother-in-law, it was not possible, who resignated. There was my cousin, 2 cousins came there.
Where to Auschwitz?
No, in Neuengamme. But to Auschwitz came my 2 cousins, young people. And they became dysentery, you know what it is.
Yes.
Such a dysentery, that it was not possible to save them. Not possible. You couldn't do it. It was some, for instance, crows who catch typhus, black fever. And I was immune already, what I had felt fever in Hamburg Neuengamme. And he was lying on this block 7, which was sentenced to go to the gas chamber of the whole block. It was the deadline and so. And I learned it 3 days before or 2 days before. So I was going with my tools to this block 7. There was a guard that nobody could go in, but I told I have something to repair and so, and he let me in. And I was coming to the place where Kraus was lying, nearly half dead. He was lying with a corpse. And the nurse of this block 7, he was our friend. So we took Kraus house from this booth. I gave him this stripped uniform, and I gave him my tool, this box, and I took him under the arm away, and this ward told, now we are 2 Schlossers, and we are, he was here 1 hour before, and so, look, we are ready, and so who can work in such a dreck, look, that I will never come here, and so, and this nurse is going with us, and so I took him out before this critical moment, and then we saved him, we gave him in a block for who was a friend of us, and then when this came, this critical moment, so nobody could be in the camp. Nobody who has an attachment to work in the camp could be there. Otherwise, he was put on the car and was put in the gas chambers. So at that time, we took Kraus in Außenkommando. We took him from both sides, and he was lying in the place, and only to overrun this critical moment. And after this critical moment, when this block was emptied, then for 3 weeks was period which you was sure that nothing happened.
Now, all the people, you know now that they're gassing people. Now you know that they... Now, the question was going to be, this was really the first time that you really knew that they were gassing people, right?
Oh, this we knew before. This was only, look, this we knew from the moment that I told you that Fedre Kalisha, that they were gassing people. That you must understand there were 2 kinds of gassing people and selections. The first selection was when they selected on the ramp people which came directly from the trains to the gas chambers, knowing nothing, yes?
Let's go back.
And the
what is the date now with Kraus?
Yeah, the Kraus, there were selection in camp.
Always, try and place this date with Kraus.
What Kraus?
This incident. Yeah.
He was not selected, but Kraus was so ill on the flag fever that he was forced to go in this hospital. And in this hospital, he couldn't be on the block, he had fever, there was control, and if a Stubendienst would leave somebody in the block who was lying, who couldn't go on, so he was punished, so he must go, if he had fever, to the hospital block. And Kraus was there, and if during this critical moment he would be healthy, so it would be okay. But when this critical moment came and when they decided the block is full in gas, so it was geschlossen, and the people were counted, the wards, nobody could go out, so this was the moment, if you knew it, so you could pull somebody out. For this period, then later the block was empty, it was disinfected a little made clean, and the people already who was ill, it was in the camp inside.
Now, do you know about the date of when this might have happened?
Yes, this was, I think this was in 43, in Freeling, in Sprint, 43. But, so what? But there was also a selection in camp, which I will join. Every month or every 2 months after they came
roll call.
After roll call, stehen bleiben, not to go to blocks, and the block were closed, nobody could go in the block, the Stubendienst, the whole ward, and now they came a doctor and the Rapportführer and the Schreiber and 2 assessmen and Blockführer from the block. And now the all people must strip themselves from the whole block. And now they were going looking each of one who was already exhausted, only skin and...
Emaciated.
Yes.
Emaciated.
Or she had some,
He had.
He had some these wounds and so kretze, you know what is kretze. If his appearance...
He had open wounds and stuff, and it looked like he wasn't going to live.
If his appearance was that he is not able to work, so he was not, the Schreiber noticed his number. The doctor told this, and the Schreiber noticed the number, the Schreiber, the prisoner. And then he asked, wie viel Stück? How many pieces? And he made a notice, how many pieces. The doctor made the notice, and the Blockführer, the SS made notice. And so they were going to another block, another, till the whole camp was set. Then the total for 200, 400 people were numbered to go to were selected. They didn't know, they told, you will be sent to recreation, yes? We must give you a special cure, and they never told you will go to the...
This is in the spring of 43.
No, this was done always.
Always.
The whole time.
But they saw that they were being cremated. They saw that they don't gas.
Yes,
and they still believed it?
They
hoped it.
They didn't. But these people were then put in one block, and they were all isolated. And then this list of these people, which were noted, came to the political department in Auschwitz I. And then they were checked. If there were some political prisoners, they were cancelled. If there were some Jews who had some relatives which were non-Jewish, but Aryans, they also were cancelled. And then the list came back who should go to the camp. It took 2-3 days.
All right, now how do you know this?
How do you know? At that time we didn't know it.
How did you know that this took place in this way? How did you find out that the list was like so, and that they ordered this one not?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had connection. For instance, this our secretary, Mrs. Kopeka. He was working since 42. Not only he, she, but about 50 girls, mainly from Slovakia, Jewish girls, as secretary who knew languages and so on, in Stabsgebäude, as secretaries from the high SS officers. And to their bureau came these lists, and the officer told them, check this list. If there are political prisoners, every political prisoner or every prisoner who had a sign, who was registered for work, had a tick, a file in a Gestapo, in a political department, in a Hauptkamp, in a main camp, in Auschwitz I. Right. And also a card in this Schreiber office. But this file was much more detailed. There was, and these girls checked these lists, and they gave only who is, and the decision made then the boss, Hauptsturmführer, Untersturmführer, and so. And he sent the list back, approved who should be sent to the gun from this selection from the camp. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Yes, now it's clear.
Yes. Now, but you said every couple months they did this, huh?
It was not regularly, one in a month, in 6, in 2 months, in 40 days, according to the situation in the camp. If there were many, if there were typhus, if there wanted to make place from the camp, there were no regular. It was according to the situation in the camp. I made interview with a woman. He is a Greek. She was a Greek woman. She lives in in Greek. The name, the greatest. Saloniki. From there came many Jews. And she knew many languages, and they picked her out when they came the Greek, and she saved her son and her husband, even if her husband was invalid. And she came in this office, and she has in her charge to make this checking from the beginning till the end.
Can we hold it for a minute?
Yes.
There seems to be a discussion as to when they first started to mark people in Auschwitz, and did they mark everyone, Jews and non-Jews, and when did they stop marking them? Do you know any authority? Do you have any authority on that?
So, I cannot exactly let you know when they began the marking, but the marking began at about January 42, when the Slovak came already. They were marked, and then they marked backwards. Yes, the Slovaks get about 28,000 number, the Slovak, and then they marked nachträglich, you know. But the Germans were not marked. The Germans, before, and so the Germans, the non-Jewish Jews and non-Jews were marked, but not the Germans. The Germans, Aryans, Germans.
And did they keep marking them right to the end?
No. They stopped the marking when the Hungarian transport came. So the marking was stopped. And why? While the Hungarian people who were put in this gas chambers, they disappeared without any. And the other were in a very short period. They were sent to the German factories, not in the Auschwitz camp affiliate, Auschwitz camp, no, filial.
Yeah.
They were camped, for instance,
Satellites, little camps.
not in, they were sent direct in some, in that time the Germans wanted so much to the Arbeitskräfte, you know,
Yes.
that they were a great quarrel where to get the Arbeitskräfte, so they took it from the concentration camp and they didn't mark them at all.
What year, what time do you think
It was, I will let you know, it was about June, July 44. Yes, this.
From then on they stopped marking them.
From then they are stopped the marking on.
Because either they went right into the oven,
Yes, right into the oven.
or
and
they didn't mark them, but they used them for other work.
for other work, yes. Yes.
I see.
But but we were marked, I tell you, till July 44, but only these Hungarian transports were not marked.
Because a good part of this, the success of operating this camp, if you want to use the word success, depended upon identification and a person not being able to cheat, meaning to transfer with someone else, because he could take his shirt off and give his
this
pants,
was also.
what the army couldn't do.
This was once, and they have absolutely, they have absolutely identity with this.
Yeah, so that was the
That
key
was-
to it.
And then when this pressure came to have too many people involved in the work, and not in the affiliate satellites camps, but who were assigned to the satellites, so they were marked. Even after when Theresienstadt came in October 44, yes, they were marked.
Then they started to mark them again, huh?
Yes, they were.
Why do you think?
They were
going to hold them for a while, weren't they?
No, the Hungarian transport was a special action, Umsiedlung der Juden aus Ungarn, resettling the Jews from Hungary.
Right.
And when they sent the Jews from Hungary to another camp, so they worked there, and they were not marked. And it was a special Abmachung mit this Horthy and so on. I do not knew it exactly, but my conclusion of all this, which I saw and which I know from the literature, is this explanation. They didn't come to this. Nobody from the Hungarians, for instance, came to Buna Werke, you know, to these affiliates camps. They came.
We'll go into Buna later because I want an explanation on that.
But there were many firms. This I must tell you. During the Hungarian action, so they came from Germany, from the factories. There came men, and they the selected people were presented to them, and they asked for age, for occupation, and so on. And they selected how many people they will have. These were civilians from the factory, from the German textile industry, and from this Speer, which they make this, they wanted to have to.
And they came right into Birkenau.
Not in the camp, in the Birkenau, in the quarantine camp.
Quarantine camp.
Is
that quarantine camp?
Yes.
But they knew what was going on, huh? They'd almost had this see, right?
Maybe, look, they saw to the crematorium, they didn't let them go. But I mean, they must have knew about it. But I will let you know, the people who were in the camp, also these women from Hungary in this camp, they didn't believe that they are crematoria. They told, yes, you are going back. That it was in the neighborhood, in the same line was a bath, which was a right bath for people who should be disinfected and bathed and to shave and to go to the camp. And in the neighborhood, 300 meters were the crematoria.
Yes. So only who knew it exactly, who was there, could knew what is that or that.
So these people would come from Germany.
No.
Like they place an order, huh?
Yes.
For
right?
merchandise.
Yeah, for merchandise.
For merchandise.
Do you have, this is the, for instance, the book, the Auschwitz-Liga. He is an officer and he told, he was there and he was in Raisko, it was a camp, and he selected people from these Hungarian people, and he told, they always are very glad if I would select the people for me, and I never saw any gas chamber. So he told, yes. And he selected these women about when he wanted them, yes. And he was an officer from Wehrmacht. This man, they wrote the later this
How
book.
many do you think they usually picked up?
It was from 10 to 20%. And they got always, according to my later knowledge, they got from the RSHA, Reichssicherheitsamt, gave the list of the people of the mass transport. And in these lists were already marked, this I knew also from these people, from these girls which were engaged in this Stabsgebäude. This list came and they were already marked how many for work, 10, 15% for work. And there were marked also people who, even if they should be selected for work, they must be killed.
Why?
For instance, if they were some communists, if they were some very important people like Judenälteste, these people who knew too much, so these were to be finished. Also from this, if he would be selected for work as a capable man, so this name was checked and he was finished. Yes.
And the decision was always made
by the decision was
by an SS man, huh?
by Eichmann's office. RSHA, Reichssicherheitsamt.
Did you ever see Hess?
Yes, the commandant?
Yeah.
Sure, I saw him very, very often when he was, and all these officers, we were working, for instance, in the crematoria, when we were making these ventilators and these verschiedene Schrauben und pick up, when the crematoria were built up, so we were very often there, and the construction, we helped to make this, to screw this, not the die odborná práce, das Fachwerk, ja, als Hilfsarbeiter. They gave, for instance, to the top Fenzene, there came 2 engineers and 3 workers. And they became 10 prisoners, artisans, yes, to work with them. And so we helped.
To build their own crematory.
Yes, and so we helped.
You knew you were building a crematory.
Yeah, no, this we knew.
And you knew there was nothing you could do.
No.
Because if it wasn't you, it was going to be someone else.
No, we did knew exactly that they were, we suppose that there will be burned people who are dying or killing in the camps, like this Hevre Kadisha, which were burying all the people, and this when this huge gas chamber was built, so we didn't knew it for what purposes till when it operated. Then we knew it, not when it was built. They always told it is Leichenkeller, there will be that people should be stored in, and so, and
Tell me about Hess. Tell me the times that you saw him, what he looked like to you, and...
Look, Hess never spoke with Häftlinge. He never spoke with
prisoners.
He only came with very high officers. Sometimes he came with on a horse. She looked upon how the work is going on. He looked how the work is going on through this, and he never touched any. I didn't saw it. Never touched any.
How close were you to?
No,
At any time.
20 meters.
Could you see his face?
Yes.
Did he have any expression on his face? Did
His
he look-
face was very severe, and he observed like he doesn't see nothing, non-existent. The prisoners were not existent for him. Only he overlooked how the work is doing, and he always was accompanied by Lagerführer of this camp. But I never saw him to speak to any Häftling.
You never saw Erich?
Eichmann I didn't saw, but I had when he came to the visit in this Familien camp. So there came a visit from a German Red Cross and Eichmann, and it was in February 1944. And that Eichmann came there, and as my wife was there, so I was very often there. And he came to this block where the children were educated. There was a school for children, very nice. This Freddy Hirsch made a school. The children painted, and they played theater, and they chanted, singed lieder. No.
I'll tell you what we'd better do then, because you're getting into a different subject. So we'll hold that one for a minute. Tell me about the family camp.
No,
Maybe you better start that then.
family camp. Well, I remember it was...
Why did they set up a family camp?
Yes. Should I tell it to you why, the first or later?
What do you mean, the first? Were the 2 times?
Look, why they set a family camp, this I learned later, but how it started, I will let you know how it started.
All
Yes.
right, whatever way you want to tell it.
So, the family camp was started that way. Theresienstadt was known as a paradise, you know.
Right.
And from Theresienstadt, there were about a capacity of the Theresienstadt were about maximum 30,000 people. Then they were overcrowded. So when the people were more, so they sent them to the east to build their own siedliще, and you will go to the east. And then the people doesn't know, they came from then, they disappeared. And no letter, nothing, rumors. Later rumors, the people were killed. So, and later came in a truck from Auschwitz, which came back, which brought Theresienstadt. First came from Theresienstadt people who were put to the selection like normal, and 20% were going to the work, and the other were going to the
Extermination.
The same was with my brother and with, as I told you, and my mother, which came in February or in March, in the beginning of March, when my mother and sister were going directly to the gas chambers. I think I told to you already, yes. And my brother was there, my 2 brothers were there, they were picked for work, and next day I spoke with them. So at that time they knew nothing about it, and they only knew and they told me what is interesting, that is very nice, and so, and his impression was first when I asked him, he told, oh, it must be a good place. When I heard the music is playing, I thought such a place where the music is playing, so it must be a good place. This was his first impression. And these rumors were spreading out all over the world. So the Eichmann took this idea. They get 5,000 peoples, families from the Theresienstadt and put them to Birkenau, to a new camp, to this section which was built up to this section, as I showed you, to this section. And at that time there was no railway to in Birkenau. It was 43, remember. But what we saw, once we saw they are coming trucks from the ramp which was in Auschwitz, near the Auschwitz one camp, and the SS men are they are helping. The old rabbis came, old women came, the SS men were haben sie gestützt mit dem Arm. The SS men were brought the children on their
They helped them down very politely
in the camp with all their misvadot, all the suitcases, with all. We thought it is a miracle, mess. What happened? And they came to this camp. Nobody was at that time nobody case, not one from them. The Canada was there. We get an order not to touch nothing, and to give this mizvadot, this suitcase, all on the trucks, and to bring them in the camp. So at once it was a rumor that there is coming a transport from Theresienstadt, and my wife was in Theresienstadt. This I knew, but he wrote me letters to.
She wrote, yeah.
She wrote me letter to Dachau and to Neuengamme. And she also knew that I am in Auschwitz. So what?
How did she know?
I let her know through this, which we had this underground connections.
Right.
And then we could, in the beginning, we could write, I think one or twice we could write letter. When I was in Auschwitz I, this short time, so we could, from Auschwitz I, it was possible to...
About 14 days, I think you were.
Yes, so it was allowed to, after you came, you could write a letter.
And you had to buy a stamp?
No, nothing stamp. They give you only the paper with 3 certain lines, and so you can write this and these words, and to give it to the censor. It was censored. And they sent it, not directly, they sent it through the Jewish communities which exist, through the Jewish communities in Berlin, and they sent it, for instance, Theresienstadt, where your people were at that time. Never with a stamp from Auschwitz. Then,
you heard there was a transport coming.
So, Theresienstadt, I was concerned with that. I felt I must go there and must see who came. So how? At that time, it was the only possibility was that our camp was the main camp, and they want to have food, and the kitchen at that time didn't function. You know, the barracks were not ready. Was empty, there was no straw, there was nothing, no road. It was an empty camp, only barracks were there, and they should build this camp, and in this camp they were brought in. So in the evening there was Essenfahrer, and we were working as a Schlosser for kitchen. So there were no horses, so I volunteered to pull this goulash cannon. You know what is goulash cannon? This kessel, this cauldron with cauldron on this.
Yes.
And so
Now, the cauldrons were what? They were food?
in cauldron was soup. The soup was boil in the kitchen in our main camp. A special, it was an order at once to supply them soup for 5,000 people and to brought it in. So from the, we knew it, we worked in the kitchen, we repaired them, so we knew that they will be go, so I
Was
asked,
it good soup?
no, so normal soup, Eintopfgericht, you know. The same soup as we made. Maybe they gave a little more potatoes than but and so ich habe mich eingespannt like a horse, you know.
Yes.
We were at such a cauldron, there were 8 people, 4 and 4 in every cauldron, and the capo.
They were that big, huh?
With the paiche. What?
The cauldrons were that big?
Very big. The cauldrons were for about 500 liters. Very
Really?
high. Very high. On the, like when the military cauldrons are, you see on this, on wheels, not it was on wheels.
And you say the SS with whips?
No, SS was not. The capo.
The couples with whips.
They always were whips. Not they, when we were old Häftlingers, so they didn't, but they always had whips or pranks.
You were used to it.
Yes. So, and now we were going in this camp. It was one camp further. And so, when we came there, so we brought it in, and I looked over. It was chaos, and so checks. And is the family Kulka, is here somebody, schön Kulka, but my wife came with the family Kulka. And so maybe in 20 minutes I found out that they are there. So I was...
Who is they?
My family.
Yeah, who? Tell me now.
My wife, my son, her mother, her sister, her brother. There are 12 members of the family Kulka Schön. My wife and her family, the family of her. Not from my side, from the side.
From your side was your wife and your son?
From, yes.
And the rest were from her family?
From her family, yes. So then I find it out. So we reached it Otto, she was in a very good shape. And they had also brought with them three suitcases of suits and to eat and so and so. No, so, but it was only half an hour, and I must go out. Yes, but I knew there was told to them that they are in the east to build a new camp, that they are especially capable people who will be trusted to build a special, and they will be under the observance of the Red Cross, under supervision of the Red Cross. So I was not the only one who was going there. There were more who came. So then we make all efforts that we should be the assessment shouldn't. Now that my wife and my son are there. But at once we make an arrangement that if there is something to repair in this camp, I, myself and my friend Langfelder, we are the first which will be always...
And I want to ask you, in this particular camp, what you call the family camp, so they're men and women together?
Men, women, children together.
In one room?
In blocks. They were sent in blocks. First they were in blocks. Later there were separated, children were then later separated. Later also were, and the non-married, the married pairs were together in one block.
Let them stay together.
Yes, non-married separated, children separated. There are special children block. The rule was there was a couple. The blockades were Jewish, The Stubnis, they were Jewish, all of them. The only men who were not of them was the Lagerälteste, it was the Befauer Arno Behm. Yes? It was Arno, it was the first Lager, and he misused these Jewish girls and so. But this, and he had the main order from, and there were 3 SS men in this barrack, Lagerführer, and the Lagerführer was Scharzhuber, the same Lagerführer as in our camp, yes? The whole section 2 was under one Lagerführer, Obersturmführer Schwarzhuber. Schwarzhuber. Well, later sentence. And every camp has a Rapportführer. There was a Rapportführer Buntrock. It was Scharführer, Oberscharführer, like Fettfebel, you know, in this group. Not officer, not under officer, this group between. He was a very beast, this man. And so,
which one was?
This, the Buntrock was a very bad man, very cruel, and suspicious and so.
He was Jewish?
No, it was SS man.
Yeah.
They was SS, German. And then it came so. It is a special camp, nobody has access to this camp, that all the people from the camp will be, their work is to build up the camp. They will be treated specially. Nobody was cut the hair. Yes, they were. They got for children. They get special rations, and they get a privilege to write every 14 days a letter or a card to Theresienstadt, to their relatives, to their znami, to their friends. They can afford to be sent parcels. All. But the address of that always came from the political department from Auschwitz, a man who gave them these letters, and he waited till they were written, and he always told them, you must put a little date before as the censorship is taking some place. And the address which was written on the letters, the Spanish, you know, Absender, the sender address was.
Yes.
Arbeitslager Birkenau, bei Neuberun, Haus Numero 20. For instance, 21. Hauptstraße, Lagerstraße, so. In spite it was 3 kilometers from Auschwitz, and Neuberun was 9 kilometers, which was a post office, Neuberun. So, that there were no connection between Auschwitz and Nobody knew what is Birkenau, you see. Nobody knew. It was only for us, we knew it. But for the Außerwelt was Auschwitz I, Auschwitz II, Auschwitz III, yes, Auschwitz first, Auschwitz second, Auschwitz III, and so.
Now, were these people from Theresienstadt that they sent, were they only Jews, or did they put Goyim in there too?
The only, oh no.
In this family camp?
Yes, there were the Jews, there were
only Jews?
Only Jews, not only Czech Jews, there were some also, not much Austrian, some Austrian and maybe...
But Jews?
Jews, only Jews. Family Jews, only Jews. And so they wrote the letters, they came there, they get parcels from Red Cross, they get the parcels from their relatives, and later I learned that it was make an exhibition in Berlin where Goebbels makes an exhibition that there are rumors that we are killing the people from Theresienstadt. Please, here you have their cards and letters. And they make an exhibit of this letter. So I could help to my wife, to my son, and to many people that there were about 5 or 6 people who got the permission from this maintenance squad to go in the camp and to work there for the pipes and the kitchen and the cauldron, electrician. And we get I was, I managed it to get this permit. And then, and they always told, we are in the special treatment, and they were very nice treated, all well. So, for instance, this Freddy Hirsch, who was in charge, he was such a Zionist, and he was a leader of Zionists. He was a very young man, and he acquired or got from the Lagerführer Schwarzhuber the permission that he will put a school for Jewish children, and he make 2 blocks, and they played music, they learned. For instance, that whole block was printed with this Schneewittenchen, you know, these cartoons, the I don't know in English how it's 7 dwarfs and this Schneewittenchen and the 7 dwarfs.
Snow White.
Snow White and 7 dwarfs.
Yes. Snow White.
So they illustrated the whole block with this very nice, and they played theater. The SS men were coming there and they showed the theater. And so now they came this visit from Eichmann in February 44. And then the visit came off, and I spoke with this Freddy Hirsch. I was friendly. I always told him what it is, and I cannot believe that they. And he told me, no. Eichmann was there, and he told us that we will be changed for German prisoners who are in Schweiz and Switzerland, yes. And he was very, very interested in the education, and he told me, look, Freddy, here you should make me a report about how you organize the education. I will send it to the Red Cross. They should see how we are taking care for the education of Jewish children. Yes. And the Freddy Hirsch was so enthusiastic about this that Eichmann was. He knew Eichmann from Theresienstadt, that Freddy Hirsch. Eichmann came very often to Theresienstadt, and he picked out all the people who should go to this family camp. Then came the end. One day, it was, I read now exactly, on the 3rd of March 1944. We were going to the women camp, yes, also to repair this. And in the women camp there were many Slovak girls. One of them, which recognized me now, which I was on Friday invited to them. And there was one girl, very, very nice girl. Their name was Katarzyna Zingerova, and she was a secretary of the Lagerführer of the camp, Hessler, and then was also the Mandlova. Mandl was the Lagerführerin of the camp, also of this women camp, of this section 1, this section 1. Yeah. This was the main women camp. And there was the whole administration, and the SS women, Mandl, she was such an Oberaufseherin, and the officer, Hessler, was officer, so to rule it like and she caught the telephone call that there is for the 7th of March should be make a total Sonderbehandlung for the camp, family camp. Order. Yes. He got from Berlin came an order to Hess in the main camp, and Hess phoned to Hessler that he may prepare the Sonderbehandlung for the family camp. total. For the transport which came on the 7th of September.
To exterminate.
Yes. And I forgot to tell you that on December the 20th they came 5,000 people from the two family camp, so that the family camp had 10,000 people. There were two transports. See. In the meantime, some people died. The old people, maybe 800 died. And it was given an order to liquidate, to make Sonderbehandlung for this first transport exactly after half a year of their existence. And this woman, this Katja Zingrova, she asked if there is something to repair in the women camp, eine Anforderung, yeah? And so we came there and she told us this and this I have heard, you should warn them. And in next day came Philip Miller, from Sonderkommando, we had a Spojka, eine Verbindung mit Sonderkommando. He came to us, in spite it was, and he told that they get order to prepare for March 7th, they should prepare.
The March 7th is 44.
44.
44.
They should prepare for a liquidation of a huge transport.
Right. Your family came there September 43?
43.
And you saw them from September 43
till nearly every day, every second day.
How close did you, but you didn't let them know that you were related?
No,
you didn't
no,
want,
no,
yeah.
no.
All right. Now, how close did you get to them?
I came to the block where my wife was. Look, when I came...
Did you get to talk to her?
Yes, I talked to my son. We could read together during the day. When I came to the camp, so in the camp I told a number so viel, I have an order to give to the camp and to make some repair. Your order, so I told him, and I was there. And when I was going from the camp, so it was not allowed to stay here, This guy, this assessment, he could control me, myself, not only myself. He was going, this Blockführer, through the camp and he watched. And sometimes he catched some people, and it was, once I get paar Ohrfeigen, and once we were suspicious that we are spreading rumors about the annihilation of the camp. So we were in a suspicion, and it was forbidden that we should go in. Somebody told something. So I was there. I was very close with them. We could help them. We could bring them, organize them food, and organize them clothes, and so on.
But the other Jews in that camp knew that you were married, huh?
Sure, they knew. As I told you, there were about 6, 7, and from time to time they wanted to bring them, for instance, railroad for the or equipment. So there came a huge commando inside from the camp, but we were regularly there. Yeah. And one of our Schlosser, who was in the maintenance squad, there were 2 more, not from these 4, which had also their families there in this camp. And when we knew about this, when we was a farm haben, so we were going to the camp, and first I told the Zionist, the leader, I forgot the name. I told the name before.
Yes, you did.
No.
Not Hessler.
No,
Naaser was a German.
German. But this,
I know, you mentioned the young fellow.
the young fellow from Theresienstadt, Freddie Hirsch.
Yeah, Freddie Hirsch.
Freddie Hirsch, he was such a leader, everybody trust him and so on. And I and my friend Langfelder, which was in the commando, and I think Rosenfeld was also there, and we came and we told him, look, we have had this and this, you will be liquidated. And he shocked and he said, this is nonsense. Liquidated, we? And that he told me the story that Eichmann was there 14 days ago, that was about in the mid of the, and he told me this and he was very enthusiastic and so it's nonsense, it's not. But I told him, look, it is a very serious thing. I think you should think about it. Now, what we should do. So I thought, if they would be killed, I think there is a possibility to make an uprising. We told with people in the camp, and if you would give a signal, so or those Sonderkommando would join you, and these were 3 or 4 days. This handling, these rumors, what to do with this resistance. So what was the possibility to resist? So with this transport came very much such small ampoules with benzene for Feuerzeuge, lighters for cigarettes. There were a mass of this. Every transport brought them.
Right.
So we told them, we brought them this if you are convinced. And they told me, if we are convinced that they will kill us, so we will make an uprising. And so it was decided they should fire on the straw in these huts, the straw in this where they slept, on the mattresses, and it will be a great fire, and then the Sonderkommando will join. If it succeeds or not, uprising. Ausverzweiflung. Yeah. So this was, and then still they told about what it is not. Then came Schwarzhuber the next day, and he told them, you will go. The whole which I'm now telling you, it was in 5 days. This. I will tell you, it's very dramatic. I wrote a book about it. So he told, you are going to Heidelberg. We were so satisfied with you that you make such a nice tent, and we will send you to Heidelberg and to build a new camp. Every of us who is a Blockeltester will be a Blockeltester. I will make a specialist. You can get all your belongings with you, and you will be treated like here, and you will help us to build a new camp. And I'm Speziallager, yes, as you were trained in Theresienstadt, and now I see you also here make a good work. And this Freddie Hirsch and there were 4 people, me, and so we were in this resistance. Next day when we came, he told me, look, Schwarzhuber told us what we should do. We will go to quarantine camp. I told him, look, but ask him, what did you have 600 or 700 sick people, old people. These people were also built this Heidelberg. They are also. So ask them. And the next day they were angetreten, die Blockeltester, and they asked this Schwarzhuber, and Mengele was also there, and he was going to the camp. He was making this focusy with this Dina Gottlieb. I will later, let me, I will say something important. Yes. And by the roll call, when the Blockeltester were there, every day they instructed them how to organize the transport, that only people from this transport from the September, not the other, should be moved in the half. They should not mix. Yes, they should be separated, and only these people from this transport, they should check the numbers, make list, and so on. And they are one of these blockers that told them, but what these people who are sick, they cannot work. And Schwarzenberg told, oh yes, I forgot. This will be here, live here in the camp, and later when they are healthy, so we will let them
join you.
Join later, we will send them. So he told me, look, he told me that only the healthy people will go. And we couldn't überzeugen sie, die Leute. Then they told, they give them the next day they came, who is ill, he will become a special treatment, and they will become a special rate of food, and every day were something sweet, yes, to this, and then came the deciding moment. They let him know the day before, all you will go who are going to transport, they will go to bath. And to go to bath and disinfection.
Yes.
As you are going, you must be disinfected and so. And the way to bath and disinfection was the way as I showed you on the map, the same way to the crematoria.
Mm-hmm.
So now it was decided, now they will kill us. If they is, so they will, that will be the deciding moment. And all were prepared, these 4,000 people, to go in batches, yes, to know. So what we might make? We were the Schlosser, as this, the Wachstube from the canteen where this, so they had a chimney, and the chimney there was a little pipe of normal chimneys from bricks, and there is a little pipe sometimes that the fire is better. Dass der Durchzug besser ist. Yes? And so we decided that we will go on the roof in our camp, of the roof of this Wachstube, and we will observe where the people are going. It was not far, it was about 500 meters to this crematoria or to the bath, and we could observe it. And we told, if they are going to be bathed, so we will take away this metal pipe from this chimney. If not, so we leave it. And so they were going, and we were repairing this and this. We told them to do the assessment. They were not interested in what we are doing. And what we saw they were going to the bath. They took the showers. They were in blankets, and they were going back to the camp.
Yeah. Naked in blankets?
No, they were going to bath naked, but only they had some, not suits, only the Wäsche haben sie angehabt, and underwear and blankets. And after they were bathed, they came back, and the doctors were so polite that they took them. Look, packt euch gut ein, that you didn't catch a cold. It would be bad for the transport. And there were, on the road, some of them had not this. They were going shoes. There is some glass. Be careful that you will not hurt you. And so. When they came back in the camp, and we came next morning in this camp, so Freddy Hirsch told us, and the Bilek, look, this is a nonsense. If they would kill us, and it's nonsense. What? You see, that was the proof, and they wouldn't bury us. But came the next. The next, in the same day, in the morning, came in the afternoon, Roskas, an order that all should move to the quarantine camp. These 4,000 people, the rest of them.
Yeah.
Quarantine camp was next to the Familiencamp. Next.
Right.
This was also normal when a transport was going, so it was also going normally through the quarantine camp. You see, that you must be in the quarantine camp, that you have some diseases, all this. So they were going always and everywhere checked, brokered the list, and so very nice. And at 6 o'clock in our camp, B2D, were a roll call. After the roll call, it was Blocksperre, you know, it is Blocksperre, the curfew. Mm-hmm. And only Blocksperre. It's to close the blocks. Nobody can go out and nothing.
Curfew.
Before every block, this never happened, was given an assessment with a machine pistol, machine gun, how it's in English, a rifle, which is...
A rifle?
No, machine gun.
Machine gun, like a Uzi.
Yes, a gun.
Uh-huh.
And the hound.
A dog.
The dog. And the capos, only the capos left. And the Schwarzhuber told the capos, I want about 50 anständige people which for a very responsible work, and there will be a special Zulage and so on. So the only one resisted, a German non-Jew, political communist, Hans Erich, he told, ich mach solche schmutzige Arbeit nicht mit. Do you understand what it is?
Yes.
I will not make such a dirty work. And the Schwarzwurg gave him 2 flaps. He had him abgerissen, the capo sign, and he ordered him to go to the SK, Strafkompanie.
2 flaps. Slaps.
Slaps, yes. 2 slaps. And he ordered, hat ihm heruntergerissen die Armbinde, sofort abscheren die Haare und in Strafkompanie, einen Deutschen, a German. And the other capos were, so then became a night which we heard only, there were no windows in the blocks, you know, but we saw this in attics, which were these windows, so we saw the Flammen, and we saw the autos were rolling hin und her. No, very, it was something, we didn't knew that there were guests, but in the morning, when we awake in the morning, the capo came and the capo were drunk. The capos came to the Werkstatt, and this Winand, you know, you remember the Winand, this Maurer capo, came and sagte mir, Erich, eine Frau hat dich grüßen lassen, da hast du ein Kuvert, da hast du. A woman greeted you and he sent it this.
She said.
And I took this, and there were 3 poems. It was not from my wife. 3 poems in Czech written from my wife, which were published in the book later. She wrote it in the expectation already before of this, that fantastic poems, the prophecy. They are translated also in the book. And now the Winand told us about the whole thing, how it was. How the camp was liquidated. So they were all in the quarantine camp. Quarantine. Then came at 8 o'clock in the evening came the autos, and the autos, trucks. Every block was closed, and one block after one was opened, and the trucks were given directly close to the entrance of the block, and all people were put up on transport.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, and they were driving the way to the station not to the. They were not driving to the crematoria. They were driving to the Auschwitz station, and later, after about 1 mile, they turned left on a small way, on a Straße, einen Feldweg, wie sagt man das, Feldweg, a road to crematoria. Yes. So if they observed already these people from these attics, so they should see that the trucks are going in the direction to the station.
How were the people dressed? Naked?
No. They were dressed in stripped uniform, normal, but no, in their civil uniform, how they were in the camp. Mm-hmm. Normally, all they had.
These were what, women?
Women, men, all. The families.
But not children. Children were in another area.
No, children were also, but the children were together with Freddy Hirsch. Oh. And then Freddy Hirsch learned what it is, and she poisoned himself. She poisoned himself on the block. Freddy Hirsch. Oh. She told he will not see the massacre of the children, and he poisoned himself. She had some tablets and he poisoned himself before. He was dead before. And the whole. Then they
just had it for himself. He couldn't give it to others, huh?
But
I say he only had for himself.
No, there was
I mean, he only had poison for himself, or did he have for others?
No, he poisoned only himself.
But did he have poison to give to anybody else?
I think it had not so much poison. It was tablets for sleep, and very many tablets for sleeping.
Oh, I see.
And how it was that the capos were drunk. The capos were drunk, and at the end they didn't. The politeness was over, you know, and they los auf die Karren. And one of these blockades of these Jewish, where we are going, I will know it. And he opened the door. He opened the door with Gewalt. And they beat him to death with this drunk, and they put him in the block death. This blockades from the Czechs, you know. And so they saw that it is. Do you understand me?
Yes, go ahead.
I think
I will ask questions. Go ahead.
Yes. And so it was like a rumor from. They came from the back. They opened the back door of the blocks. In spite of it was guarded by the capos. And so, like a rumor, it came for these 3 blocks that they are being killed. And Freddy Hirsch, when he heard it, so he poisoned himself. And now, how it look in the crematorium, this was...
Well, no. Did your wife go in this?
Look, one moment.
Because your son is he's in the children's camp.
No.
He's with his mother?
Yeah, he was Muslim. When all this discussion was, so my wife was had a job on the Schreibstube, you know, the Schreibery.
Yes.
It's a Schreibstube. And there were many people for this. There were about 6-7 people where they had the agenda was very, very heavy, these parcels and writing and so. And she was on the Schreibstube. And I told that to her, and she told me, look, when I should die, so I will die with my son. There was no other. So I will fight, but when I should die, and my son was at that time, the Dov Otto, you know, he was very ill. He had an like typhus, nakažlivá, eine ansteckende Krankheit, wie sagt man das? Ansteckend. Epidemic. There was one epidemic, block 32 on the end of the camp, and there was he had schwarze Pocken, the and typhus and all these kinds of, and he was very ill, and I brought him also
Now this is in Birkenau.
In Birkenau, all
Right.
And these who were very ill, the sick people, only normally, or the old people and weak people, they were in the mid on the block, 11, 10 and 9, that was a block for the sick peoples, yes? For the sick and weak peoples.
In Birkenau.
In family camp. All is in family camp.
Oh, family camp.
Nobody could go out of family camp. It was not allowed. He
Well,
couldn't
the
be.
blocks within the family camp.
Blocks
I
all without. Nobody could be transferred from the family camp to other camp. Didn't
I-
exist.
Yeah, no, that's why you saw the look on my face before.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, because see, I always keep thinking of the other blocks that we were so
No,
It's a block within the family camp.
These
There
so-
must have been what, about
32 blocks there were.
32, 16.
Except 16 and this
Right.
one, this that I show you on the
Right,
block there.
right.
It was wired, nobody could go in, only this few people and so on.
And each one was to hold about 300, you said. No, about 500.
Oh yes, there were 500 and 500 about, but some blocks were used for something else. 500 were the average occupancy of a block. Yes. There were 10,000, about 10,000 people. There were to washing blocks. There were also the facilities for the washing were better. They could wash their laundries, and so that was some better.
All right, so go ahead.
So now, and my wife told me, let me transfer to Otto, to Dov. So I was going to the Schreibstube, and I told to the doctor to can you help me? Oh, he told, yes, I can let, now that he is verdächtig von Typhus, that she is Typhus verdächtig, she has a sign of to be So he made a note, and they brought her to Dov, to the block 32, where my son was, and the other people who were very ill, and half of this block were for doctors, and Mengele, half of this block was for epidemics, and half of the block was Mengele's station for his experiments, for his twins, and doctors who make these experiments. And also this Dina Gottlieb, you know, this Dina of the... So I brought her, my wife was brought there, and it was just after they came from the bathing. After
Bathing.
from the bathing. And the next day, as I told you, came this Vinand and the capo, they were drinking, they were telling how it was, and so the screw and I will not tell you details. And then I asked him, did you saw my wife? And I don't know, such a chaos, they were singing Hatikva, and they were beating the people, they sang Hatikva. When they was going to the Shimu, they sing Hatikva. They with the bar hands they fight by the assessment. And the assessment beat them with these rifles and then with horns, and it was a massacre. And it's described very by this Philip Miller. You will later I will give you a book. So, and now I didn't know if my wife or my son and were, no, I told him, and how it was with the sick people. He told, yes, after we make when the old people, when the quarantine block was empty, so we returned to the camp and we brought the sick people. Yes, these 300 sick people, they loaded on the trucks and brought them to the crematoriums, also killed them. And so I thought that it's finished, all, with my wife and with my son. So now I was going to the camp, to this family camp, to repair something family camp was closed. Nobody could go in. Half of this were there. You see, from the transport, second transport, from this transport which came in December 44, they were there. Yes, only one transport was gave. This 5,000 people who came in October 43.
You said December 44 just a minute.
Look, there came two transport. One transport which my wife came
September 43.
and the second came in December 43. 5,000.
Oh, 43, but you said 44.
44 by the liquidation. Excuse me. The first liquidation was in March from the night from 7 to 8 March 44.
That was the liquidation of the September 7th.
September transport. This was the liquidation, the complete liquidation.
So you see, I listened to you.
Yes. Yes, no, you must assume that something is...
That's all right.
It's all right. Then be careful and now when something is not... you don't understand. So I was going to this camp and the camp was closed. So I was going along the camp and I saw the camp was like that. Nobody, nothing. And I came to this block 32 where I knew that Eli and Dov was, and I took some stones, and I throw the stones to the block. Now, the block is open, and Dr. Milek opens the block, and he see me, and he goes, "What do you will, Erich? You are here?" And he goes, "No, what happened with them?" And he goes, "No, we are here on the block. There was some transport. They were going away, but we were closed. I nothing. What is Eli and Otto are there? Will you see her?" So Eli came to the wires, and we embraced ourselves through the wires. It was something I cannot express it till now. And so she told me that their block wasn't evacuated. Their block, the block 32
was not evacuated.
No. Then later I learned why. When the people from these sick people from these blocks which were in the middle, the 9, 10 and 11 were brought away, then came the car and should also bring these 40 people which was in this block 32, the block with this typhus and this the infection, and it was raining, and it was a little uphill, and the mud was glitching, and the slippery, and the tires
were just spinning in the mud.
And the driver could not go in, and the rapportführer told him, how up? Do you understand it?
No.
They will die anyway, go away. Didn't care. It doesn't worth this 40, they will die anyway. And this was the reason why Otto and Eli was at that time saved. And later they some died, but they cured, and they were, and some people on this block, Mengele, make a list which people shouldn't be liquidated. The doctors who work with him, and the nurses and his twins, and also this Dina Gottlieb with her mother. Yes.
You say Mengele was there, right? Mengele was in Birkenau.
Yes.
Right. But then in Auschwitz I, they had block 10 and 11. In 10 they did experiments
not
too.
Not Mengele, Klauber.
Who?
Klauber.
That's
Mengele,
right. You're right.
No, only in Birkenau.
Yeah, you're right.
There were another, Klauber, Schumann, and so.
Yeah, that was in the Auschwitz I. That's where we were.
Yes, this was not Mengele.
Now, for the history of this, I would not, how it was in the crematorium and this, it was very, but this is, it will now appear a book from this Philip Miller, and he will describe this very, very exactly. And they weren't also Philip Miller, they knew it, but nobody would believe it. So now it comes, we will still rest in the family camp. The second transport, yes, this report was very shocking for the whole camp, and we sent the report abroad. Also the Polish underground sent the report abroad, very exactly. And it was wired by the BBC, and they were named who the officers who assisted by this execution. And they were warned that all these officers, their name are named, that they will be executed and so on. I don't know if it happened or not, but the second term for the second transport, which came in December 20, was the June 20, yes, was the half a year. So
Let's say that again now. The second transport, what?
The transport which came on December 20th,
Yeah.
after 6 months, was the same. Should be liquidated. They also proceeded to write letters and so.
They came December
43,
and they were to be liquidated in June of 44.
44.
Yes.
But in the meantime, there were an escape. It was a fantastic escape from the camp. In the meantime, all tried to warn the what had happened. The people were also nice behaved, and they told him, yes, they were going to the. Do you know that the people wouldn't believe that they were, some of the people, that they were exterminated by the gas chamber of these 5,000. They wouldn't believe it.
Why do you think they wouldn't believe it? Because it was hard to believe, or they didn't want to believe it? What do you think?
Both. According to the Veranlagung, you know.
I mean, if they didn't believe it, then it might not happen. Is that it?
And then they told me, yes, they were going transport, I know it, and they were going. And some believed it, some not, some believed. But what was before this transport, this is very important, before this transport was going to liquidate, on the 5th of March came from political Abteilung and a messenger and brought them letters. You should write to that you will settle to another camp and you feel well, but please write the date 25th of March. You know, on the 5th March they wrote the letter, but the date was 25th.
Why do you think?
They told them, look, the censorship is, there are so many thousand and censorship is going long time, that we are full of work, and so that date it on the 25th of March. And they wrote, it's good that they are going on transport and so, and they should send them parcel, and they are going to Heidelberg, and they will let them know later the exact address and so. And always, Birkenau by Neuberun, house numero 11, Lagerstrasse. And he took the letters were sent to the addresses. Now that happened this thing. There was an assessment. There were very nice girls in this camp, in this Czech camp, you know. And one of the assessment, they had some intercourse with capos and so on. And one assessment was a Romanian Volksdeutsche. His name was Pestek.
fall in love with a very nice girl. His name was René Neumann, and he knew that there will come a second liquidation and he would save the girl. But the girl had a mother which was very old, no chance to survive. And he offered her, and he told, without my mother I will not go. With my mother I will go, without not. And this Pestek offered to escape to many, also to all, to our, he told, no, look boys, will you not escape? I will help you, and so. But we knew that it is provocation. Many times this happened, and always it was a provocation.
What do you mean?
Look, the assessment provoked, for instance, there was such a case. In our camp, in this camp where I was in this Stammlager in the B2D, one of the assessment discovered that one of the inmates, a Slovak Jew, was his school fellow.